Hi and welcome back to Ratatap. Today we are with Rees from the Broom Cupboard recording studio. So tell us a bit about the Broom Cupboard and what sort of things you do here in the studio.
The Broom Cupboard is my little studio where only I work, and we do everything from voiceovers for adverts to folk bands to hip hop artists, and yeah, just generally anyone that I'm working with.
Tell us a bit about how you started the studio, how it came about.
Well, it came about just by me wanting to record my own stuff and experimenting, and it started kind of in my bedroom like most people do. You just have one mic, one preamp, and you just record everything one at a time, layer it up, and then you kind of get the bug for it. And then over the years I've just constantly bought more microphones, more bits of gear, mixers and stuff, speakers, computers, and it just built it up from there really.
So as you experimented, you found that sort of propelled you on?
Well, what it was, because I'm a drummer, first of all, I was recording drums with one mic, which was great, it sounded quite cool. But then obviously you really want to get that drum sound that you hear on all the albums that you love. So you want to start doing like a multi-track thing, so then you've got to get at least 8. So then I had to get 8 channels, I had to have 8 mics, and you just get, the more you experiment and the more you have ambitions, the more equipment you buy. And then in the end, you end up with a studio, really.
So, what's the most challenging thing you've had to record?
Probably the most challenging things are usually when a band want to record together in the same room, and you've got to try and capture everyone individually, and trying to utilise the space that you've got well. For instance, there was a band that had saxophone, flute, drums, bass, guitar, vocals, and they all wanted to go live in one room. I'd done it at a bit of a bigger room somewhere else, but it was quite a challenge to get everyone captured nice without having to overdub bass or overdub everything afterwards. We really wanted to try and capture it, so that's when it's usually the most challenging.
Do you think there are any misconceptions about studios and the recording process in general?
Yeah. I think there probably is, but not amongst everyone. Everyone's different. Every customer that comes in has got a different level of knowledge of not only like how we're going to do it, but what to do once it is done and where to go next. What's the next stage once it's all done and finished? But yeah, some bands, some artists and bands do have a bit of a misconception. I think they can get more done than what's really realistic. So they might only want to have one day and they want to get a certain amount done, and it's not really realistic. But that's not always the case. But that is probably the most common misconception, is like, oh, can we do an album in a day?
So do you think like an online community that put, people in the music industry like yourself, like recording studios with musicians and service providers all in one space, do you think that would be beneficial?
Yeah, it would be. It would be, because
connect with one another.
That's a great idea, because obviously I recommend people to go where they should go for rehearsals. I recommend where they should go to get their CDs printed. I recommend where to go to get their amps fixed, because I know where I think's good. So it's kind of a place like that would have all that information for everything you might need in one place. And it could service all the local people that are doing those jobs. So yeah, it's a good idea.
And that's all part of that process, isn't it? It's not just about gigging on stage. There is all this, recording process. There is the getting your amps fixed, as you say. There's the nuts and bolts of the.
It's a lot of hard work, pretty much, for not a lot of gain. You've got to really love it, otherwise don't bother doing music, I think.
Exactly. And do you think, like, you talk about sort of recommending people, do you think like a referral from someone, a fellow musician or someone in the music industry, goes a long way?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Because
absolutely.
people trust that a bit more, do you think?
Yeah, I think word of mouth is the best. That is the traditional way, and it is still the best way.
Can you tell me about the recording process? What's like a brief summary, a typical recording process, and what should, you know, for example, if there's a musician who's never recorded before, what do they need to have prepared?
Well, what I do is I offer an hour for free, so they can come in and I can just talk to them about their music, talk to them what they want to try and achieve. And what I sometimes do, if we're going to sort of do like a multi-track recording, we might put down like a scratch guitar track or some bass and guitar and a vocal, just rough, but to maybe to like along to a drum loop or a click track. So then if they've got a drummer in the band, they can take that away and the drummer can practice along to that guide. So then when he comes in on the first day of recording, it's not all this new experience that he had no idea, we didn't know what to expect. Like, I think it's better if they're prepared and they know what they're going to be doing. So he can come in, set his instrument up, and he already knows what he's going to be doing because he's practiced it for 2 weeks. Generally that works better. Obviously I've learned that through experience.
What's coming up for the Broom Cupboard? What projects you got coming up?
This year, I'm working on a EP with a band called the Mannequins at the moment. Loads of people booked in. There's a young band called Suits that are just coming up. They're from Rayleigh. They're only 15, 16, but they're really good. And they've already done some recording, but they're coming back in to finish up.
A varied diary.
Yeah, and I've got my regular rappers that come in as well. So they'll be coming back next year as well. Good
stuff. That's what we'd like to hear. Where can we get more information about the Broom Cupboard?
My website. So it is www.thebroomcupboard.org.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
excellent.
That's all on there.
All right, that's fantastic. Thanks for your time, Rees. And
cheers.
We'll look forward to hearing more from you soon.
Cool.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Hi, I'm Rees from the Broom Cupboard recording studio. Tap in.